What's up, Marks Mafia? It's your boy Primo from the pod, co-host from the East Coast of the Sit Down Marks podcast, Wrasslin lifer, gamer by night, and collector of all your wildest wrestling takes. Around here, it's all hot opinions, deep cuts, and a little chaos from the squared circle to the subreddit. So sit down, Marks, and let's get into it. I've been avoiding Reddit all day, and now we open the floodgates. My brain's not ready, my sanity's not hanging by a thread, but Marks Mafia, we're diving in together. This is Reddit Tuesday. Before I get into Reddit Tuesday, I do just want to say real quick, we have podcast episodes coming out this week, both episodes 156 and 157, one releasing Tuesday night and one releasing on Thursday night, as well as Cheap Pops with Primo coming out April 29th. Additionally, I'm going to link it down in the description. We launched a new Sit Down Marks podcast Discord server, so you can join us there. Be part of the Discord community that we are growing and engage with us, interact with us, collab with us. We want to talk to you. We want to get our message to you. We want you to tell us what you think about wrestling. We want to debate with you. We want to get your ideas for the podcast. Your ideas could make it on the podcast. We want to get your ideas for the t-shirt. So come into the Sit Down Marks Discord and stay tuned for the live shows on Tuesday and Thursday. We will see you there. All right, so let's get into it. Today, we are obviously going to Reddit like we have been doing on Tuesdays. We're going to dive into the wrestling armpit of wrestling fans known as Reddit. We're going to look at SquaredCircle, Wrasslin, WWE. We might even take a look at WWE Games subreddit. But today, let's just see what we got here. First up, I see here, Rock just confirmed he did not want to be involved with Cody or Cena after the Chamber. Via Pat McAfee show, he said he made the call to step back out of the spotlight and let them have their moment. His words were, "The final boss's work is done." I gotta say, do you guys buy that? Because I don't know if I do, but the first comment says, "So if I may ask, what the F did the Rock actually do for John Cena? John Cena has already won the effing Elimination Chamber match and hasn't referenced, needed, or used The Rock at all since then." Hey, I couldn't agree more. He really hasn't referenced The Rock one time since the whole thing at Elimination Chamber. And we have this really, really weird connection to Travis Scott that I wish would go away. But that's a rant for another day. Coming soon. Next up, we are going to go down a bit here. We got some clips of Bayley, Randy Orton's opponent. Let's talk about that. Randy Orton's opponent at WrestleMania turned out to be none other than Joe Hendry. No, I'm not going to play his music. That's copyright. And if you haven't seen Joe Hendry, we'll go after people for copyright. So, but I did think it was a good move. I thought it was historic, actually. Basically, that's got to be the first time we've had a TNA World Champion at WrestleMania, wrestling on the card, right? So, pretty cool. I know it didn't last, but was it even 5 minutes? But we had Joe Hendry in a WWE ring at WrestleMania facing off one of the greatest of all time in Randy Orton. And hey, he got RKO'd out of nowhere while doing his spot. He got his gimmick in and still got RKO'd out of nowhere. So that's cool. This says, has a wrestler ever fallen asleep in the ring? Like, were they supposed to pretend they were knocked out and they just fell asleep on accident? Somebody said Ric Flair in his last match, Mox against Joe last Wednesday. There are some people who probably have, but I don't want to be perceived as taking shots as those who struggle with addiction. Okay, we didn't have to go there, guys. It's supposed to be funny. Next, Stone Cold, CM Punk, and Bret Hart on the Hall of Fame red carpet. So, I thought that was kind of interesting that they had CM Punk come out and basically induct Stone Cold and Bret Hart into their match into the Hall of Fame. But, I guess If you're gonna have anybody do it, have CM Punk come out and say that he's got 2 minutes when he really takes 5, and then halfway puts himself over while doing it. So, whatever. Let's go ahead and go, because honestly, SquaredCircle is kind of lame today. But we're just gonna go. Hoes stay mad. Sami Zayn on X. I like that. That's pretty good. I don't know what that is even referencing. Let's click on it and see. They knew what they were doing, putting it during this segment. F them. Good on Sami for calling it out. I hope he doesn't get any heat for it. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Let's move on to Wrasslin. Absolute cinema. That's what they're saying. Seth versus Roman versus Punk. Straight fire and absolute cinema. Well, I gotta say, I agree. And like I said in one of my TikTok videos, I give all the props in the world to Paul Heyman. He, in a matter of, a couple minutes, he went from looking like he was betraying Roman by handing CM Punk the chair. Then he low-blowed CM Punk, and then he looks distraught, like, why did you make me do this? Then he gets on his knees and hands Roman the chair and basically repledges his allegiance to his tribal chief. And then he clearly, then he goes and he moves. This is the part that I thought was really funny after watching it back, knowing what I know, where he goes, look, my tribal chief, look, it's all yours for the taking. So, like, because Roman was about to go all in and go ham on CM Punk with that chair. And Paul was getting his attention and saying, like, go look over at him. Go look at Seth Rollins. His back is exposed. Go do the shield chair shot. And that's whenever the best part happened. And Paul Heyman low-blowed Roman, gave Seth the chair, and Seth ended that whole thing. Now we have what we have on Monday Night Raw, which was the creation of a new faction. There's controversial photo here. It says, internet wrestling crowd watching wrestling, wrestling fans watching wrestling. So basically us, the internet wrestling crowd watching wrestling, they're all like, meh. Wrestling fans look happy while they watch wrestling. I think that's not always the case. I mean, I was actually pretty happy this weekend. I was happy last night on Monday Night Raw. I know I'm in the minority when I say that I enjoyed most of WrestleMania, but I like to take things at face value, and I like to be a fan. So, I try my best to stay a fan, and I even kind of try to avoid the dirt sheets this weekend, specifically about WrestleMania. But the first line there, it says, nobody hates WrestleMania more than wrestling fans. And then it says nobody hates wrestling fans more than wrestlers. But, it's bad because usually the people that you hear the most from, the most negativity from, are the supposed wrestling marks that think we know it all, which it's super annoying. Just enjoy the product. Remember what made you fall in love with this crap in the first place. There's a lot of fans thinking Seth and Paul are recreating Evolution. If so, who would be the Randy Orton? So I already know what's going to happen here when I click through these pictures, but we have an idea. Well, we don't have an idea, but the reason people are saying Evolution is because of, you got the guy in his prime, which is Seth Rollins, and you got the new young buck up-and-comer musclehead, which is Braun Breaker. So they're looking, who's going to be the Randy Orton? So people are saying it could be Ethan Page. It could be Austin Theory. Let's see if I click through here. Nobody's saying anything, but they showed more pictures of Evolution, but whatever. People say Theory, people say, no, somebody said Drew. Come on. Drew would never do that, I don't think. Not with these guys. Drew would be the Batista of the group. He's bigger than both these guys. He's damn near fucking close to 7 foot. Yeah, I'm moving past this, but if you didn't see the 129% chance of winning, that promo that Ron put out, that was pretty funny. Could this happen? This photo of Randy Orton holding the WWE Championship. Could it happen? Obviously, now after Monday Night Raw, yes, we know it could happen. Will it happen? I don't think it will happen against John Cena. I think John Cena is going to hold it probably until close to the end of the year. If he loses at Backlash or even SummerSlam, I will be kind of surprised. But especially with WWE's current trend of having for champions, that are champion for damn near a year each time. So I think that while I would love for Randy Orton to be the champion, I don't know if that's going to happen. Let's go to. They're saying the Taker and Styles meme just got rebranded. I'm going to put the Taker and Styles meme next to this and let you guys decide what exactly is better, whether it's Taker and Styles or Cena and Randy Orton. This is pretty good, though. I like this. Let's move on to WWE. Reddit WWE here. Oh, you guys are really killing me today. WrestleMania thoughts. This guy said night one. I'm not going to actually read this. Night one, Uso versus Gunther. Man, what can I say? I knew it would happen. Didn't want it to happen. Then during the match, I wanted to see it happen. What the fuck? What an improvement since last year. Jay was awesome, and that had to be the best match in his life. What a great match. Well-deserved victory. War Raiders versus New Day. 3 words came to mind with the Raiders. You look stupid. I thought you guys were the War Raiders, not the Viking Raiders anymore. Pick a gimmick. So stupid. Only team worse than them is the Street Profits. Meanwhile, this is the best New Day ever. Xavier is so underrated. I really needed the New Day to win. So glad that it happened. Holy crap, I'm not reading this whole thing. I'm going to stop there after the New Day part, but he said he really needed the New Day to win. So glad that it happened again. Again, well-deserved victory. I think this guy's shitposting, honestly, but he clearly didn't understand that the War Raiders were dressed up like Clash of Clans. Like, that must have went way over this person's head. Well, whatever. Does anybody else want Pat McAfee to go away at this point? I hope Gunther choking him out means we don't see him for a long time. I know that WWE is super hot on him, and that's unlikely to happen. But God, those months he wasn't there was like music to my ears. I feel horrible for Corey Graves. Imagine getting jilted for some doofus frat boy with no valuable insight or wrestling knowledge. Pointless quips, constant screaming, and making a jackass out of himself. Not knowing when to shut up, this guy is very possibly the worst commentator I've ever heard. He makes Jerry Lawler sound like Bobby Heenan. The Raquel thing on Raw was super weird too. Don't know if I'm reading into it too much, or if it's given some. Don't know if I'm reading into it too much, or if it's relevant given some of WWE's interesting PR choices lately. But I think the connotation wasn't right. Well, apparently this person has an opinion about Pat McAfee. I'm actually a fan of Pat McAfee, not just as a commentator, but I like the Pat McAfee show. He played for West Virginia in the Big 12. He played for the Colts. He was a great punter in the league. As far as commentary goes in WWE, I think he does a fine job. I think he doesn't always say the brightest things, but that's kind of his thing. He's a big doofus, but he brings the best out of Michael Cole. He and Michael Cole vibe so well together, and he's really, really gotten Michael Cole to come out of his shell these past couple years. And so, and they're good buddies now, and I think that it's been all around a good thing to have Pat McAfee around. He really lightens the mood. He's got money, so it's not like you're not going to be able to pay him to like come out there in a business suit. So, which is obvious. So I like that about him too. I like that he has that I don't give a fuck attitude. He does what he wants, and he's just going to be Pat McAfee. He's going to be true to himself. So people don't like that, and I know he doesn't always do his homework. I will agree on that, but it's good to have him around. I will say that. This says, you lost me, Triple H. This is the last one we're going to do. It says, you lost me, Triple H. I'm 32 years old. I grew up in what I consider to be the best eras of wrestling, the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era. I stopped watching around the time Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit died. You stopped watching. Okay. So basically mid 2000s, for those that are wondering. It wasn't those events in particular that made me stop, but I think a lot of my favorites had moved on by that point. Fast forward to 2 years ago, I started to see some old wrestling clips on YouTube more and more, and it was bringing me great memories. Started watching WWE biographies and WWE rivals, and before I knew it, I said, fuck it, I'll give New Age, SmackDown, and Raw a try. It wasn't bad, and I continued watching. I was impressed with the women's wrestling today. Last news, God bless America, I cannot read. Last year's WrestleMania build-up was incredible. Had me feeling like a kid again. The Rock on TV every week. The story was solid. The tensions were high. WrestleMania 40 itself was a great pay-per-view, solid entertainment, and the finish was logical, and everybody was for it. Last night, man, I feel like I took a big step back on all that progress. Like, what the F was that? Seemed underwhelming as shit. And after Cody being unstoppable all year, old man John Cena bullied him around for 20 minutes by himself. Travis Scott came out, which I wanted to shut the TV off then, but then he didn't really interfere too much, which was also like, why even come out? So Cena beat up a prime Cody Rhodes with no help and a bit of greasy heel tactics. Trips, I don't want to see Travis Scott on the TV. You had me back, and now I think I'm going to take a break again. It's at a point where you can tell it's two old guys guessing what young people like and then saying, online critics are idiots. Then they get it wrong. TLDR, I should have started with this part. I came back to wrestling after a 20-year break, and last night is sending me back into retirement. Well, guess what? And we'll go home after this. But you're just one of many. It's a $9 billion rated publicly traded company. You're just one guy, pal. And if he's losing you on that, then I think you're the one that's out of touch. But it's all right. You know, things don't always go the way we want them. If you're 32, so you should be old and mature enough to realize that sometimes you got to play the long game and see where things are going. Sometimes you got to trust the process and see how things work out. Sometimes, even though Travis Scott's on our TV, I'm going to get some of this more tomorrow during my new series I'm starting. But stop and realize that we all just witnessed John Cena's final WrestleMania, and all a lot of you guys are doing out there is complaining instead of realizing that's the last time you are going to witness the greatest of all time wrestle at WrestleMania. You're going to complain about it. But anyway, that's a wrap for today, Marks Mafia. Whether we're tearing down Reddit or throwing down hot takes, we are always glad to have you here, more specifically me, because I'm the only one here. Don't forget to hit that like button like it's a steel chair. Drop your thoughts in the comments, in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss the chaos. Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and as always, keep marking out. Peace.